You may have something you spray painted that you wished was a different color of spray paint. Whatever the case may be, you are left wondering if you spray paint over the old spray paint, whether it may peel or bubble. You are not alone. Many people, including myself, have pondered this question at one point or another. You can spray paint over another layer of spray paint as long as it's entirely dry. Allow enough time, at least 30 minutes, for each layer to dry before adding another coat. Putting spray paint over an object that already has been spray painted will not peel or make any bubbles. However, before you can spray paint over the old spray paint, you must prepare the surface correctly and ensure it's adequately cleaned or wiped off. How many coats of aerosol paint you need to get full coverage can depend on how dark the first color is that you want to cover. Typically, 2 to 3 light coats need to be applied at different angles to ensure you are getting maximum coverage. Spray painting a few light coats are better than only spraying one thick coat. The only catch is that you need to make sure you do all the coats within 1 hour. Do I need to sand the old paint off before applying new spray paint? Sand the surface lightly with a fine grit sanding block to make the finish look dull and faded. You can use 100 grit sandpaper, so there will be something for your new paint to stick to. Ensure that you clean the debris away and wipe the surface with a wet or sanitized cloth. If you plan to spray paint over an already spray-painted object, the best thing you can do is to prime it first. You need to make sure that your new surface is smooth enough to respray paint. If there is still any grime or dirt left behind on the new surface, your spray paint will not adhere properly. Many spray painting enthusiasts do not like using primer, although it might be good to use one. If you're planning on spraying a lighter color over a darker color, you may want to use a white spray primer first. The white underlayer will prevent the need to apply several layers of paint, which can become thick and look caked on. Also, if you apply too many layers of spray paint, it may peel or crack. Spray paint may crack when the temperatures are higher or lower than between 65 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Another reason why spray paint may crack or peel is when oily residue or wax is left on the item. These substances will affect how well the paint bonds to the material. It is crucial to clean all surfaces thoroughly before respraying. You may now be wondering if there is something you can do to make the new spray stick better to the old spray. If you want to receive the maximum effect when applying fresh spray paint over old spray paint, you can make use of 3 easy steps. Lightly sand the surface. The first and most crucial step of getting your object ready for spraying would be to sand it down. Preparing the surface will ensure that the new spray paint sticks. Clean the surface. Next, you must clean your object using a damp rag. Wipe the entire surface to remove any residue the sanding process may have left behind. Allow enough time for the clean surface to dry thoroughly before moving on to the next step. Respray the surface. Once your wet surface has dried completely, you are free to use any color of spray paint you prefer. One tip I have always found helpful is using a high-quality spraying gun and high-quality paint. Apply thin and even coats of spray paint and cover any areas that the spray should not come into contact with. Proper technique to use spray paint. Like with many things, there are proper ways to do them. Let's take a look at the correct technique you can use spray paint to do the best job to your ability. Spray paint to dry, clean surface. You need to clean the surface before spraying, and regular household detergents and cleaning products will be more than good enough. Always sand and scrape glossy surfaces and use a primer where it is possible. Also, remember to treat or remove rust with a hard wire brush. Spray paint in suitable weather. The ideal temperatures for spray painting is between 50 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and the humidity should preferably be below 85%. Avoid spraying paint in areas with direct sunlight and hot, humid weather. Read the spray paint recoating times. Take a look at the recoat times, usually stated on the can's label. Test your spray paint along with painting techniques. Before starting with the desired surface, it would be best to test your paint and painting technique on a scrap surface. Remember, the motion matters. Always start and finish spraying the object by using an even side-to-side motion. It would be best to overlap your spray pattern with each pass by about 1/3. Always take your time. Use multiple thin coats instead of only one thick layer. Avoid overspraying. Always cover any exposed areas with tape. You can also make use of drop sheets. Allow time to ventilate. If you are spray painting indoors, always remember to ventilate the room. You can open all nearby windows and doors, and a fan will also help keep the air circulating. Always clean the spray paint valve after usage. When you're done with your project, turn the spray can upside down and spray for about 5 seconds. It might seem wasteful, but will help prevent the spray tip from getting clogged. And as always, before starting any projects, always read the directions on the back of the spray can. Most commonly, acrylic paint is used over spray-painted bases. A smooth spray-painted surface will allow acrylic paint to stick without peeling or cracking. You can also paint over the spray-painted surface if your paint is lacquer or enamel. But be careful not to use acrylic paint over oil-based paint to avoid peeling and flaking. However, it is imperative to prepare the surface beforehand, just as you would when spraying paint over spray paint. You'll have to sand the surface, clean it, and make sure it is completely dry before applying the new paint. You can use almost any paint on a treated spray-painted object. Here is a list of common paints you can use on a spray-painted surface. Water-based paint, matte paint, satin paint, gloss paint. Well, that's all we have for this video. We hope it's helped you. If it has, please be sure to like and subscribe so we can carry on creating more informational videos. Until next time.